Greetings, YouTube! The Doctor is in! Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons & Dragons, and welcome to the channel that takes power gaming to the next level. Today on the Doctor Spell Prognosis, we are talking about the spell Mental Prison. We are giving this an S. This is a combat ender, especially if we do some of the things that I'm getting ready to tell you to do. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when I've got another video out. All right. This is a 6th level spell that is usable by sorcerers, warlocks, and wizards. Sorry, clerics and druids, you don't get to play in this fun sandbox. But these 3 classes get to cast this spell. I have cast this spell myself as one of these characters, and I have had it cast against me as a DM, not me, but against the creatures that the players are going up against, and it is devastating. So, 6th level spell, 1 action, 60-foot range, and it is only a somatic component. That is awesome. It lasts for a minute, requires concentration. You absolutely want to concentrate on this spell, and it has my favorite saving throw, Intelligence, which most creatures will just flat out not be able to make, especially when you're an 11th level caster who has a probably 18 or 19 DC. Very hard to save against this. And it does psychic damage, which is another great thing, because very, 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 very few creatures are immune to psychic damage. So you attempt to bind a creature within an illusionary cell that only it perceives. 1 creature you can see within range, remember that 1 creature thing, 1 creature you can see within range must make an intelligence saving throw, which they will most likely fail. The target succeeds if it is immune to being charmed. So that's the only downside to this, is there's a lot of stuff, a lot of creatures, or many, let me say many creatures are immune to charm. So you need to watch out for that. On a successful save, the target takes 5d10 psychic damage. So that's on a successful save. They're going to take 5d10 psychic damage. That's 28 points of damage on average on a failed save, which is equal to a fireball. Let me just point that out. And then the spell ends. That's on a past successful save. On a failed save, the target takes 5d10 psychic damage, and you make the area immediately around the target space appear dangerous to it in some way. You can get creative with this. They give a couple examples here. Surrounded by fire, floating razors, hideous maw filled with dripping teeth. I put in my thumbnail a kobold surrounded by razor wire. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can come up with. Whatever form the illusion takes, the target cannot see or hear anything beyond it and is restrained for the spell's duration. So this is basically projecting something into their mind. It's psychic. It is an illusion spell, but it is an illusion only they perceive because it's only in their mind. So they're restrained. So what does restrained mean? Well, restrained means that their speed is 0, and they can't benefit from any bonus to its speed. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. Now, they can't see or hear anything beyond their space, as if they were blind. So they have disadvantage anyway because of that, but this adds to it in that their speed becomes 0, and they have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. So if you were to drop a fireball on them, they had no idea what was happening, and they're going to get disadvantage on that dexterity saving throw, or a lightning bolt. This doesn't say that any damage to this creature ends the spell anywhere. So you could just hammer this creature as long as a few things don't happen. If the target is moved out of the illusion, so if you move them for any reason, the spell is going to end, but there's something else that happens. If the target makes a melee attack or a melee attack through it, so you want to make sure that that you're not near it. Now, the target could just do that. They could just attempt to make a melee attack and end the spell, but they're going to be punished for it. Or it reaches any part of its body through it. The target takes If they do any of those things or any of those kinds of things happen to them, they take 10d10 psychic damage. So on average, that's 56 points of damage, and then the spell ends. So just remember the restrained condition, and they're going to be restrained for at least a turn. So once you flip this on them, until they get their turn, they're restrained, so you can drop things on them that are going to cause them to have disadvantage on dex saves, like fireballs or lightning bolts or chain lightnings or anything like that. Okay, so that's one thing. Moving them will trigger this 10d10 psychic damage. So on average, they're going to take 84 points of damage if they fail their save, because they're going to take the initial 28 psychic damage right off the bat, and then once they break the conditions of the spell, they're going to take another 10d10 psychic damage. So that's 86 average damage. This spell is just absolute. It shuts them down, and then it just does a whole ton of damage to them. So great thing about this, no attacks from the creature, no opportunity attacks from the creature unless it wants to make an attack. So, you can run around it all day long. It can't see you, so it's not going to be able to do anything. Now, you can move them, and this happened in our game a week ago, where we had a character in the party. She is playing a wizard, and she cast Mental Prison. Of course, I failed my save, and the target was then trapped. They took a bunch of damage, and they waited. It got trapped, and it came around to another character's turn after they had eliminated a few of the other enemies, and this was the only one left. So they kind of isolated it away, left it alone. It chose not to come out. It chose to stay put because it was, I think she had it surrounded by a bunch of biting teeth that would try and bite at it every time it moved. So it kind of hunkered down. And then the Warlock, and I'm going to point this out, there is one of the characters has Warlock levels, has Repelling Blast, hit the creature, because they've got advantage to hit him. They hit him, and then they moved him, and blammo, 10d10 damage, and it just exploded after that. So what are some good classes for this particular spell? Wizard, of course, School of Divination. You guys know that I love Wizard School of Divination. Portent ability gives the you can give somebody a failed save. If you got a big bad who doesn't have legendary resistance, here's your saving throw. You're done. You're in the mental prison, and everybody else can just go off at that point. Sorcerers. I'm going to point out two things about sorcerers. One, because this spell only affects one creature at range, sorcerers can twin it. When you cast a spell that targets only one creature and doesn't have a range of self, you can spend a number of sorcery points equal to the spell's level to target a second creature within range with the same spell. To be eligible, a spell must be incapable of targeting more than one creature. So there it is. And can a sorcerer do this? Well, they're getting 11 sorcery points at 11th level, so they can absolutely twin a 6th level spell. And twinning this is massive. It is absolutely massive. Again, I like the Wild Magic Sorcerer because of the Bend Luck ability. We're going to give some creature a minus 1d4 on their saving throws. Bards can pick this up at 14th level with Magical Secrets. And I love the College of Eloquence Bard. So you got a Bard, and this goes perfectly with the Bards too, with kind of the illusion spells the Bards can cast and mental type of things. The Bard can slap this down, make sure they got a penalty with unsettling words, and then you just kind of fire and forget, and then you just move on from there. You do have to concentrate on this spell, but all in all, it is just a devastatingly great spell. All right. That is what I have for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.